you're one of the ones hoping that the government shuts down EBT, you are pathetic. People like myself need the money. We need the money to survive.
Don't have kids if you can't afford them. Why do you have so many kids? This is why. This is exactly why. The reason I had so many children with so many fathers is because every pregnancy, every kid brings more government benefits.
EBT moms, what are we doing if we don't get EBT in November? Just wondering, because I don't get that much to begin with, but like my family thrives off that. We need that. Like that's how we get our big bulk dinner items. So just wondering, what am I supposed to do?
I swear to God, y'all gonna get tired of me. Y'all gonna get tired of seeing my face in this motherfucking bonnet. Y'all gonna get motherfucking tired of me talking because I'm fucking upset. It's bad enough I gotta pay rent. It's bad enough I got a car note. It's bad enough we gotta pay insurance. It's bad enough we gotta pay light bill. It's bad enough we gotta pay for gas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. And then on top of that, I'm pregnant. Like, what the fuck?
One child is another mouth to feed, is another mouth that the government has to feed, is another mouth that the taxpayers have to feed. I am doing fine. My kids are fine. My kids are fed. My kids are clothed. I get over $4,000 in food stamps a month. I could not make that working anywhere. I get $2,000 in cash benefits. So I am getting $6,000 a month. Where could I make over $1,000 a week sitting on my ass at home?
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want motherfuckers start looting, oh, it's gonna happen.
With food stamps already being taken away, a Walmart already got fucking raided. And this is not going to be the first by taking away the EBT fucking food stamps, especially right before fucking Thanksgiving, right before the fucking holidays. And if they think the American people are going to be okay with it, you think the American people are going to go starving? Yeah, you got it all the way fucked up. Expect way more fucking riots at the grocery stores, at Walmart, at Target, wherever EBT is fucking accepted at, yeah. Because apparently the only place that is still getting EBT is New York City and California.
Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say, ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. And I'm going to have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard you going to think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that store. And please follow me to that motherfucking car. If you feeling motherfucking froggy, bitch, you ain't going to make it back to your motherfucking position at that fucking Walmart store. I'm telling you.
But what about the rest of the fucking thousands of millions of fucking people who literally depend on fucking EBT for food? And I heard Aldi is doing a Thanksgiving feeding of 10 people for only $40 freaking dollars. And I don't know how true it is, but you know what? If it is, I'm so motherfucking glad. Mind you, Aldi is not even an American brand. It's a European brand. They don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, yeah. If people have no food during Christmas, have no food during Thanksgiving. Like, they know exactly what they are doing. They want people to cause commotion. But these are just people who are fucking hungry. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, this shit is not gonna end in a good fucking way. If y'all are gonna sit here and think that people of this fucking century is gonna sit home and starve while there's mad fucking grocery stores around them, yeah, you got it all the way fucked up.
So if you are upset, okay, that your taxes are going to me and my kids, quit your job. Get on welfare. I mean, you're just jealous that you're not getting it. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Here comes along your little ignorant ass, hoping and praying the government shutdown affects people's EBT money. But I guess what? Even if it temporarily does, we will still get that money back. So don't get your panties in a bunch. We're still gonna get that money one way or the other. Because like I've said in my other videos, it's not my fault that I had 3 kids. It is not my fault that I need help supporting those kids. So whether you think I am deserving of that money or not is irrelevant. It's not important. I deserve that money. And I will get that money, regardless of the shutdown. But anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I love you all.
Yeah, more on this EBT situation in a minute. I would just like to interject with today's news story from the New York Post. It says bombshell New York City mayoral poll shows trouble for Zohran Mamdani in one-on-one race with Andrew Cuomo. Now, first of all, this just goes to show you how bad the journalism is, this fake news reporting that goes on over at the New York Post and a lot of these conservative sites. Now, understand something. There's three people basically running in the front towards being mayor. And one of them is Mamdani, who's obviously at right now winning. The second one is Andrew Cuomo. First of all, Andrew Cuomo is a failed politician. The man is an embarrassment. He's a failed politician. I would just like to point out Cuomo, Spitzer, and Weiner. I've noticed that these dudes are doing their best to try to get back into politics. You want to know why? It's because they can't do anything else. These are the type of people who've never really worked. These are the type of people who basically use whatever friends and influence they had to get into the positions that they had. And then they screwed up horribly. Weiner was caught showing his wiener. Spitzer was caught dating young prostitutes, basically. Escorts, prostitutes, you can call it whatever you want. And he ended up having to resign for that. Then you got Cuomo. Now, Cuomo, I find, is a really interesting case. Now, what's funny to me is that conservative media did their best to poison the well against Cuomo. Oh, yeah, he killed my grandma. He forced all these people into the nursing homes. You know what's funny? When we had COVID here in New York, now keep in mind, New York is like ground zero. When we had it, I had friends who lived out in Long Island. Some of my friends were older than me, maybe 10, 15 years older than me. And when I heard them talking bad about Cuomo, I wasn't really trying to defend Cuomo, but I was looking at it from a logical point of view. And I was like, okay, and I'm talking to one of my friends. I was like, listen, you've got a parent who's demented and in one of these old folks' homes, right? If Governor Cuomo's office called you right now and said, yeah, you have to come get your father right now and bring him back to your house because if he stays in this place, yeah, we've got problems with COVID and he's going to die. My question is, what were you going to do about it? Because the reality is, especially when you're dealing with mentally ill, old people, disabled people, people with dementia, this, that, and other, most American families are in no way equipped to deal with that. Like, I couldn't, if it was even my parents, there's no fucking way I'd have them in my house because either my mom or my father would burn down my fucking house. No way. There's no way. Like, in my house, I have a lot of cool shit laying around. Like, I leave cool stuff laying around, and they would probably either break it, or they would try to eat it, or they would take off all their clothes and run out into the middle of the street, and I wouldn't know where they are until the cops bring them back nude. And they're like, hey, is this your parents? And I'm like, what the hell were you doing outside? And you know what I'm talking about because you've seen these things happen. You get these old people, they strip down to bare naked, and then they run out into the middle of the street for whatever reason. I don't know what that's about. Or they try to cook noodles or some shit, and then they burn down the whole freaking house. I can't have that. So if the governor's office called you up and say, hey, you listen, we need you to come get your parents right now because your dad is trying to burn the place down or whatever it is, or this COVID here, it's going to kill him. Chances are you're not going to go get him. Chances are. And I was talking to my friend about this because he literally had a father in the mental institution. Well, not the mental institution. It was the old folks' home, but he was in like the part that deals with dementia. And I'm like, yeah, Cuomo was hit by COVID just like everybody else. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew what was going to happen. That's the reason why I made videos. I called it the apocalypse. I called it apocalypse driving. And to tell you the truth, just like I said in the video, it was like while everybody else was holding their children tight and everybody, oh, it's going to be okay. I was out there having the time of my life. I'm driving around at 120 miles an hour. I'm getting from New York City all the way out to Long Island and back in like less than a half an hour. There's nobody on the road. There's no cops on the road. It was awesome. I was having a great time. I go to Manhattan. You can never find a park when you go to Manhattan. I go to Manhattan, I'm parking wherever I feel like it. There's no meter maids. There was nothing. So basically, I'm taking pictures in the middle of the street and everything, like it's that Batman movie, and I'm standing in the middle of the street taking pictures. I was having the time of my life while everybody else was locked down. These people are afraid to go outside. These people locked up in their apartments. They got their mask on. I wasn't even wearing masks if I didn't feel like wearing masks. And then the problem is you go over to people's houses to visit them, see how they're doing. And they'll, oh, you got to have a mask on. I'm like, yo, listen, I understand science well enough to understand that these masks ain't doing shit. All it's really doing is making you feel safe. And they're like, oh, I don't care. I want you to wear a mask. So, long story short, they poisoned the well against Cuomo. Now, I'm not a Cuomo fan, but they poisoned the well against this guy. And then you get the sexual allegations came out against him. And you know what's really funny? I knew sexual allegations were going to come out against him. Because if you also remember, there were a number of Me Too allegations made during that time against men in power. See, the problem with being a man in power is there's always going to be sexual allegations against you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're in power of. It really doesn't matter. If you're a man in power, you best believe women are coming after you. You best believe it. They're going to come after you. Because you hear women talk. Oh, yeah. Oh, the new boss is a man? Oh, yeah, I'm going to wear that little black dress. It's like, okay, so you wear a little black dress. What are you expecting to happen? What if this guy's married? But that's what they do. And they come after every man in power. And sure enough, every single man in power, for whatever reason, takes the bait. And they end up getting themselves screwed up. Up until this Me Too movement, none of those allegations were taken seriously. Then all of a sudden, all of the allegations were taken seriously. And a lot of these men ended up either having to resign, they had to do these embarrassing apologies, blah, 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 blah. But if you're a man in power, you can bet women are coming after you. Now, and what's so sad, and so I think it's kind of hilarious, if you look at men who don't have any power and who don't have anything, if you look at regular working men, they ain't no women coming after them at all. As soon as that man is a supervisor, as soon as that man is a boss, a manager, assistant manager, as soon as he starts moving up in the ranks, all of a sudden the women are lined up on him. As soon as Justin Bieber starts singing, their panties of all ages being thrown on the stage. As soon as, who's a good example? Brad Pitt. As soon as Brad Pitt make Ocean's 11 or whatever else he made, it doesn't really matter. Just panties of all ages being just thrown at him. Just thrown at him. They got phone numbers in them. The point is, Elliot Spitzer got caught up. I knew something was going to happen with him. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew sooner or later something was going to happen to this guy. Now, I thought they were going to try to figure out a way to charge him with something based on the fact that they were screaming and crying about their parents and this, that, and the other. Turned out they got him with the Me Too movement, basically. Oh, yes, well, if I said anything that offended anybody, I apologize. It's like, yeah, dude, just stop. Because you weren't apologizing for shit while you were in office. Bottom line is, the guy's a failure. He's a failure and he's an embarrassment. So, this guy Sliwa is a joke. Sliwa is who they want to support because they refuse to support Cuomo. There is no reason why Sliwa should have anything more than 1% of the vote. The guy should have nothing more than 1% of the vote. But guess what? If you poison everybody against Cuomo, then they're going to turn to whoever else they can turn to who they can use against Mom Dottie. Here's the problem, though. Too many people are for Mamdani. There's nothing close about this race at all. There's nothing close about this race. Mamdani, as far as I'm concerned, is going to hop, skip, jump, and waltz into that office. What is it today? We don't even have that many days left. I think it's like less than 2 weeks, and then you have the mayoral election. And right now, you've had every single bit of underhanded play. You got Trump trying, this claim, allegedly trying to offer money to Eric Adams. And now you have billionaires jumping in with their 2 cents trying to figure out how they can suck a Sliwa out. But my thing is, even if you manage to get Sliwa out of the race, you're not going to beat Mamdani. Everybody, oh yeah, well, you New Yorkers get what you deserve, and you're voting communism, and you blah, 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 blah. But then the question is, why would they be voting for communism? Why would they be voting for Democrat socialism? Why is Bernie Sanders' message so resonant? Why is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's message so resonant? Why is Mamdani in the lead? Why? Well, guess what? Those videos that I just played, I'll get to that in a minute about this EBT thing. But this whole story about, what is this? They're saying basically if we could figure out a way to get Sliwa out of the race, Cuomo might have a chance. But guess what? The people who hate Cuomo ain't voting for, they're just not voting for him. They will write something into that ballot. They're not going to vote for Cuomo because they hate Cuomo. It's news media just like this that poisoned the well against Andrew Cuomo. And now that they've poisoned the well against Cuomo, there's nothing to be done. What y'all did was y'all went against Eric Adams and you destroyed him with all allegations about, fraud, negligence, and this, that, and other. You went against this guy. You knocked him out. But you had no idea that somebody like Mamdani was waiting in the wings. You had no idea. So you poisoned Eric Adams. And I'm not going to say Eric Adams didn't do some of this himself. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that the way you reported on it, you poisoned everybody against this man. Not just the right-wing media, but you had the left-wing media. And the left-wing media was basically calling Eric Adams a Trump sycophant ass-kisser because Eric Adams was running against illegal immigration into New York City. Because now we've got areas of Queens that are flooded with prostitution. You had drugs coming in, gang increases. So Eric Adams was flying to these other countries. He's like, hey, listen, please stop coming here. We don't want you to come here. So he was basically going against what the governor was allowing to happen at the time, which was basically Cuomo. So you got these people talking about Cuomo with this cash release bail and everything, the stuff that happened during COVID. I can't necessarily blame him for that because honestly, I don't really think he really had much of an option. Now, if they knew more about COVID and they had better logistics, maybe they could have done something differently. So it's hard for me to necessarily blame Cuomo because I wasn't the governor. I wasn't sitting in that office. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what he was being told from the top, and the top at that time was Donald Trump. I have no idea what was going on. What I do know is that he handled everything poorly, and I do know that the sexual allegation came up, and he apologized for it. Now, if it had been me, I wouldn't apologize for shit. I would have said, listen, I don't even know nothing about this. I had nothing to do with it. I'll see you in court. I'm countersuing. See, one of the things the Republicans know, and I learned it from Jesse Ventura, is you don't apologize for anything and you always make counter accusations. That's what Jesse Ventura said. Governor Jesse Ventura said that. He said, we never apologize, we never confess, and we always make counter accusations. That's what Trump does. That's what the Republicans in general do. And that always stuck with me that Jesse Ventura said that. And I was like, you know what? He's fucking absolutely right. Cuomo didn't figure that out. Oh, yes, well, if I made any comments that people didn't like, You stupid asshole, you should have kept your fucking mouth shut. No, you talk to my lawyer. I don't know nothing about it. I would have had that lawsuit going forever. And if you won, it would have been like in 2038. It would have been so far down the road, people wouldn't even believe it. They would be like, they'd look at me and they'd be like, yeah, he's too old. He didn't do that. They're lying. They're lying. He didn't do that. He would never do that. He's an old man. That would be like somebody coming out with a sexual allegation against Bernie Sanders. It's like, yeah, Bernie Sanders groped me or something or chased me down or this. It's like, come on, man. Nobody's going to believe that shit. And look what happened to George H.W. Bush at the end of his life. You remember that? Now, see, Fox News didn't talk about that too long, but if you remember George H.W. Bush, this guy is sitting in his wheelchair. He's in the old folk home, and he's grabbing booty. And you know what they said? They said George H.W. Bush, he would say, hey, you know who my favorite magician is? David Copperfield. And then he grabbed some booty. Now, this was a former president, but he's demented. What are you going to do? The man's crazy. I've been in hospitals and I've seen demented people, and you hear the nurse is like, hey, stop touching yourself. Stop it. I'm trying to feed you. Stop it. And the guy is demented and the person's just playing with themselves, and the nurse is trying to feed them their soup and they're touching themselves. Nobody would have believed it. And even if they knew it was true, they wouldn't have cared. That's the whole point. What did Cuomo do? Well, I'm really sorry. If I made any comments that people would disappoint me. You're a failed politician. That's what you are. You're a failed politician. You resigned, and you left us at the mercy of Hochul. And I'll never forgive you for that. I will never forgive you for leaving us at the mercy of Hochul as the next governor. Now, and keep in mind, Spitzer, this moron, is on Bill Maher trying to make his comeback. He's up there trying to do his rounds when he was trying to do his rounds. And I'm like, yo, dude, you got caught in prostitution, and you were the one who was rambling against prostitution. And you got caught doing it. What are you doing on television? Go away. These people are failed politicians. They can't do anything else, and they're desperate to get back in. Look at Weiner. I saw Weiner arguing and fighting with somebody on the street, arguing and everything. It's like, Weiner, listen, you're a failed politician. I've got pictures of you showing off your wiener to underage women. I've got those photos somewhere on my computer because it came up in, the allegations against him. And when you hear something like that, you're like, oh no, that can't be true. And then somebody text messages you, yeah, it's true, look at this. Next thing you know, you're like, yeah, that's him. And you see him with these weird looking faces, and he's up there texting himself, he's sex messaging himself. But this guy is a failed politician, can't do anything else, won't go away. Why won't these people just go away? How are you going to go from being a governor to being a mayor? That's a demotion if I've ever seen one. That's like going from president to mayor. You don't do that. That's a demotion. Like how at one point you're the most powerful man in the state, and now you're going down to the state level, the city level? Huh? That's a demotion. Just take whatever money you have and disappear. You're right now, first of all, you're a failed politician. You're an embarrassment. And then on top of that, you're about to lose to Zora Mamdani. How could you ever show your face again when your own state is like, yo, we're not supporting you. We're supporting this guy we barely know. And this guy over here, he's Democrat socialist. We're supporting him. You're a failed politician. If you can't run against him and win, first of all, you shouldn't even be running against him. You're supposed to be governor. How do we get beyond that? You're a failed politician. Go away. Just go away. Take your money. And see, this is the problem. Some of these people don't know when to leave. It's just like I said, it's just like with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons said, fuck this American justice bullshit. Fuck the Me Too movement. What did Russell Simmons do? Russell Simmons packed up. He got out of here as quickly as he could. As soon as he saw the heat coming around the corner, Just like Robert De Niro said in that movie Heat. He said, when I see that heat coming around the corner, be ready to drop everything and leave. Russell Simmons is sitting in Bali right now, meditating or doing whatever he's doing with that Buddhistic nonsense. I've met Russell Simmons. I got pictures with him. Believe it or not, I got pictures with him right here on my phone. Russell Simmons over there in Bali, having a good time, sitting down, meditating. He's got his toes out. He's folded. He's got that lotus pose and shit. He's sitting there folded up, and he's doing his Buddhistic chants and everything. Meanwhile, Puff Daddy, when I heard these allegations against Puff Daddy, and I saw that picture of him, and he looked like he was worried, he was on the phone, I thought that he was calling an Uber, say, Uber, take me to the airport, get me the fuck out of here. What did Puff Daddy do? Puff Daddy sat around, stayed around. Guess where Puff Daddy is right now? He's in prison. Now, I've heard that Trump might be trying to pardon him this week, possibly, because Trump is also pardoned, what was that guy's name? Santos, the liar? Because I saw Santos on Piers Morgan. That guy's a liar. And that's all I know about him. He's a liar. He's another New York politician, another failed New York politician. Or I think he is, but whatever. He's a liar. So anyway, another failed politician. And Puff Daddy's in prison, hoping that Trump lets him off. Then you got R. Kelly. The moment the heat came around the corner, all R. Kelly had to do was pick up whatever money he had. All he needed was $10 million. $10 million cash. And I'd have flown wherever. I would have gotten the fuck out of here instantaneously, expeditiously. I'd have been out of here. Look at R. Kelly. He's stuck in a prison cell right now. Now, I would love to see Trump pardon R. Kelly. I'd love to see Trump pardon Puff Daddy. I don't think that's going to happen for both of them. I really don't think it's going to happen. But I tell you what, Trump could probably score some points with black males if he pardoned both of them. I think he could. I really think he could. But I don't think he's going to do that. Bottom line is, if he does it, I'll be freaking surprised. I don't want to see Puff Daddy in jail, honestly. I really think that Puff Daddy does. I think he should be sentenced to time served. I think R. Kelly should be out of there too. And I'm not even really that much of an R. Kelly fan, except I Believe I Can Fly. And that's about it. But because I really, I'm not really a fan of Ignition and all that. I didn't really listen to his albums and all that, but a couple of his songs I liked. So I think that, he should be sentenced to time served. Yeah, we put you in there, we scared the shit out of you, and if you ever do anything ever again, you're going right back. And that's it. But I think that if Trump lets both of them out, I think that would change my opinion towards Trump just a little bit. I think a lot of people would change their opinions to Trump. I mean, the people who hate him are only going to hate him more, but the bottom line is, I think if he would do that, I'd be shocked. Russell Simmons over there in Bali, Russell Simmons ain't even thinking about this place. Russell Simmons took whatever money he had. He got the fuck out of here as soon as he could get out of here. Who else? Cuba Gooding Jr.? Cuba Gooding Jr., the charges against this man were bogus. I saw a video. He put his hand on this chick's knee, and next thing you know, he's getting locked up. I'm like, she didn't even, push your hand off or sweep your hand away or revile in terror. She didn't do any of that. And I'm like, wait a minute. How is this guy in prison? So anyway, Cuba Gooding Jr., he stayed here. He fought it. And I think he did a little bit of time, but he didn't do prison time to my knowledge. I think he's got lawsuits against him or something like that. I don't know. But, I liked Men of Honor, where he was being called Cookie. You get down to this line, Cookie. I'm a Navy diver. It was I love that movie. So as far as I'm concerned, Cuba Gooding Jr. should be sentenced to time served. And all those lawsuits, if I was him, I'd get the hell out of here, take my money, leave. They're going to have to come find me. I'm not giving up my money that easily. Are you kidding? I pack my money into my suitcase, get the fuck out of here. A Navy diver is not a fighting man. He is a salvage expert. If it is lost, he finds it. If it is sunk, he brings it up. If it's in the way he moves it. Hell, the only thing a Navy diver could look forward to is dying 10 meters beneath the waves. I don't know why anybody'd want to be a Navy diver. You get to this line, Cookie! Listen, Cuba Gooding Jr. is cool in my opinion. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He needs to pack his money up and get the fuck out of here while he still can, before they come back and get him. Kevin Spacey, they came and got Kevin Spacey. I love Kevin Spacey. All these allegations just came out of nowhere. It's like, come on, man. Really? Are you kidding me? But anyway, I'm way off topic. So this guy Sliwa is nothing but a spoiler. He's a spoiler for this election. I don't know if this man really thinks that he has a chance to win, but what I do know is there's a possibility that he's another one that hates Cuomo so much that he would rather stay in the race and cost Cuomo the win than to allow Cuomo back into office. That's a possibility. There's also, I can't imagine that this guy is crazy enough to think that he can win.
Have you ever purchased anything in a cannabis shop? And if so, what did you buy, Mr. Mamdani?
I have. I have purchased marijuana at a legal cannabis shop.
Okay. Mr. Cuomo?
No.
Mr. Sliwa?
When I was shot 5 times, I've had Crohn's disease. I did use medical marijuana. Yes.
Okay.
Sliwa has no chance in hell. The mere fact that this guy was at 7%, and then when Eric Adams dropped out, now he's at like 19%. He ain't got no chance in hell. New Yorkers don't want him. Now, you could say all that bullshit that you're hearing on Fox News. Y'all don't even live in my state. You don't live in my state. You don't live in my city. Fox News talking all that shit. You got people worried about the New York race from all over the country. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all don't even live here. Y'all have no idea the hell that a New Yorker deals with every single day. Dealing with congestion pricing, dealing with not being able to park in Manhattan, dealing with overpopulation, dealing with all types of shit. And y'all are worried about who my mayor is? No, first of all, this is called representative democracy. Your opinion, if you don't live in New York City and you can't vote, your opinion is irrelevant. If you don't live in New York City and you can't vote, your opinion is irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. So the bottom line is, you're like, well, why is it that these people are supporting Mamdani? Well, it's very simple. It's because when you've got somebody who's got this government shutdown and you've got EBT about to end, a lot of these people are losing their minds. And you wonder why they would support socialism and communism and all these other isms. Yeah, it's kind of simple. It's because they're broke. It's like broke people ain't got nothing to lose. It's like Master Splinter said in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1986 movie. He says the most dangerous thing in the world is a man with nothing to lose. He was talking about Shredder. Yeah, they got nothing to lose. So of course they're going to vote for this shit. They got no choice. But they've been pushed to a point where not only don't they have anything to lose, but they're fearful. And when you push people against the wall, they're just like rats. Eventually they turn on you and they bite the shit out of you. You can't push a rat into a corner. You just can't do it. Because they're going to turn on you and jump at your face and going to scratch your eyes. It's just that simple. Sliwa is a joke. New Yorkers don't want Sliwa because of New York. It's very simple. It's kind of simple math. If New York wanted Sliwa, Sliwa would be leading. Guess what? Sliwa's not leading. After New York got their taste of Giuliani, and regardless what these bullshit liars on Fox News say, Giuliani left the mayorship in disgrace. Giuliani, the majority of New York hated him. Yeah, there were some people who supported him, but he left the mayorship in disgrace. I would argue that Bloomberg had a better favorability rating than Giuliani did. I think that's an easy one to make it. But I'll tell you what, you don't have to take my word for it. All you got to do is look at all of the newspaper references about Giuliani up until the day before 9/11 happened. And that'll tell you exactly what New York felt about Giuliani. Giuliani left the mayorship in disgrace. In disgrace. So, no, they don't want Giuliani. And that's the reason why. I'm sorry, they don't want Giuliani. They don't want another Giuliani, and that's the reason why Sliwa ain't got no goddamn chance. So that guardian angel, red beret, all that bullshit, yeah, that's really cute and everything, but they don't want you. They just don't want you, and that's it. So we don't have that much longer. Mayor elections coming up. The mayoral election is going to be, what is today? 21st? Okay, so we've got about 9 days to the 30th, and then there's only, yeah, okay, so it's about 2 weeks, give or take. Yeah, Mamdani's going to win. I hope Sliwa does stay in the race, because, you know, it's funny. Now you're getting to see just how ugly the Democrats and the Republicans are. Because, see, the Democrats would love, the Democrat Party, you got to understand, there's a difference between the Democrat Party and your average run-of-the-mill Democrat voter. There's a huge difference. The Democrat Party, these are a bunch of corporate scumbags who are being paid off by various lobbyists. They would love to put Cuomo back in office because, see, Cuomo is a known quantity. They know that they can control him. Even Trump knows that they can control Cuomo. They know exactly what they'd be getting. Mamdani, they have no idea what they'd be getting. Even Sliwa. Sliwa would be nothing more than a sycophant with his head up Trump's ass. Nothing more than a brown-nosed sycophant with his head so far up Trump's ass that his red beret would be covered in brown shit because it would be in Trump's ascending colon, or perhaps his jejunum, however you pronounce that, the part of the lower intestine or the large intestine, because it's two parts. It's like the top part and then there's the bottom part and everything. But anyway, bottom line is that's what they would love to have, and guess what? They ain't going to get it. They're not going to get it because we're not voting for it. And this is representative democracy at its best. You know, this is a civics lesson. For everybody who's paying attention, this is a civics lesson. Pay very close attention. You're getting a civics lesson. That's what you're getting. So this is the story, and this is coming from WGME. I've never heard of these people before, so I guess I can trust them. So it says SNAP benefits won't be issued for New York November due to government shutdown. And this is October 21st, 10 a.m. Augusta, officials say supplemental nutritional assistance program SNAP benefits will not be issued for November due to the ongoing federal government shutdown. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service, FNS, has notified every state that November funding for SNAP, the nation's largest anti-hunger program, will not be issued. Nationwide, approximately 42 million people receive 42 million people. Now, America only has about 350 million people as the population, and I think that's a high number. So you're telling me 42 million people are on SNAP, receive SNAP benefits, including 169,812 in Maine. So WGME must be from Maine, according to the Maine Department of Health and Human Services. In total, Maine DHHS says nearly 12.5% of Maine's population receives SNAP benefits. Okay, so this is all about Maine. It says thousands of low-income working Maine families rely on this basic food assistance, but now these benefits are at risk because the Trump administration and Republicans in Congress have shut down the government instead of agreeing to extend the health care tax credits on which so many families depend to pay for their health insurance, said Governor Janet Mills. They should listen to the people of this country and stop cutting health care, stop hurting working families, and end this needless shutdown. Now, let me just tell you something. This is the way I see this. Okay, it's obvious that the Republicans with Speaker Johnson, it's obvious that they're trying to paint this as a Democrat shutdown. This is not a Democrat shutdown, and the voters don't see it that way either. Whoever's in power, whoever's in office, that's who gets blamed. Bottom line, you could say what you could call it. You could say it's the fucking Martian shutdown. Martians ain't gonna get blamed. You are. Because when we look and we see on television who's running shit, you're the people. Furthermore, how the fuck did we allow the laws to get to the point where you have a government shutdown but Congress still gets paid? How did that happen? How did we get to the point where we allow a government shutdown to happen? First of all, there's laws that actually say that if you're a government worker and you don't get paid, that you actually get your money later. There's actually a law in place that makes sure that you get your money. The problem is the disruption in pay. That's the real problem. And for some people, it's going to lead to layoffs. How did we get to a point where we're worried about air traffic controllers? How did we get to a point where Congress gets paid while this government shut down? You see, what's happening is these people, now that they're seeing the SNAP benefits and all this stuff about to end and EBT about to go under, what that's causing is them to call up their Congress people, and now they start threatening their Congress people. Because just like with these videos I'm playing, when people, see, the thing about it is, during COVID, a whole lot of people went out and bought a whole lot of guns and a whole lot of ammo. These people know exactly where their Congress members live. And the scary thing about that is now you're in a situation where political discourse has gotten so bad that some moron like Charlie Kirk, who decides that he's going to go out and start arguing with people, first of all, I refuse to call that an assassination because as far as I'm concerned, he's not important enough to get assassinated. That was a murder, pure and simple. It was a murder. It should be treated as a murder. It was a murder. It was a killing. It was a murder. So it should be treated just that simply. That wasn't no fucking assassination. He wasn't that important. That's the bottom line. That said, you're dealing with a situation where people are angry. You're dealing with a situation where people are ready to reach for a weapon. And you're dealing with a situation that basically you have people stealing now at levels that I've never imagined. When I was a kid, I never imagined that you would have people shoplifting at the level that I see now. Never imagined it. Seeing people literally walking out of the store with food, just putting it into the cart. You got to have Walmart. The people are standing in front of the Walmart, checking your receipt. And they're checking the receipt even if you just got food. And I'm not even talking about like if you have a TV in the shopping cart. I'm talking about people with just food. Like, first of all, maybe I don't want you to know what I'm buying. Maybe I have secrecy and shit, and you don't need to know what I'm buying. But nobody bothers to fight because then that just causes a bigger problem. Simple fact is, we've reached a point where shoplifting is crazy. And maybe we reached that point during COVID first, and then all of a sudden all these stores got plastic fucking covers for everything. If you go into some of the stores around here in New York City, they got the fabric softener is locked down, the deodorant is locked up, just deodorant. Like regular deodorant. It's locked up, and it's my favorite deodorant too. What is it? I use that Right Guard, that clear gel with the orange top. Now, some of that cheap shit deodorant, they don't bother to lock that up. Yeah, go ahead and steal those. They don't care. But the deodorant that I buy, I always buy that clear gel Right Guard, or I buy the one that they sell at like BJ's where it's like a black container and it's a clear gel. I like clear gels. And I just like clear gels. That's it. I don't like the white powder residue one. I don't like that. But anyway, they got freaking safety tags. They got RFID chips. They got what is it? They got those big tags and shit that you got to take it to the cashier and they got to stick it on the magnet to get it off. Otherwise, it'll break and it'll put dye on you or something. It's like, I never imagined it would get to that point where people are literally like stealing freaking soap powder. Like, you go to these stores now, They're watching you in the store. It's like I went to Uncle Giuseppe's and I was looking at the caviar. And I was just curious to see how much a can of caviar was. They got it in a little ass lock box. It's a clear box, but it's a locked box. And I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at the prices. And sure enough, one of the people was like, hey, do you need the key for that? And I was like, no, not really. I don't need the key. I was just looking. I was curious. You know, if I want caviar, I'll wait till I go on a business class flight or a first class flight and I'll eat like unlimited caviar. But I'm not really into that stuff. I just wanted to see what the price was. That's it. It was like $25 a can. And I just wanted to see the price. But they're watching you. They got these people going into these stores. They're taking porterhouse steaks and sneaking it into their pockets. They got people stealing chicken wings and fucking porterhouse steaks. They're stealing ribeyes and shit. Like they're wearing these big ass coats. And man, when the winter comes, oh my God. You know what they say? Winter is coming? When they got the big coats on, these people are slipping briskets into their coat. They're putting a brisket into their coat pocket. It's like, that's a brisket. How are you putting that in your coat pocket? This thing weighs like 5 pounds. What are you doing? Let me tell you something. I don't know when the government shutdown is going to end. But the bottom line is the Democrats, believe it or not, you can say what you want. The Democrats actually have the moral high ground on this one. Because the problem is if you're going to argue that this is all because the Democrats are fighting for health care and trying to keep health care under Obamacare, the bottom line is, or health insurance as they call it, the bottom line is, no, people are going to blame the Republicans because they're going to say, oh, you're taking away welfare food benefits and you're taking away health care. What did Ronald Reagan say? He said there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program. Well, yeah, that's what Obamacare was. That's what SNAP is. That's what EBT is. That's what welfare in general is. Now, the question remains, what are these people going to do? Are they going to get violent? Are they going to start stealing like some of these people in these videos said? Are they going to start stealing? I don't know. This is uncharted waters. I have no idea what they're going to do. But I'd like to think that within the next week, next week, I'd hope to think in the next couple of days that this government shutdown will be ended. But I don't think they're ready to end it yet. So things could get ugly. I believe we're starting, if we're not already there, I think this is the longest government shutdown we've had. But I could be wrong. I'd have to check because, it goes down to the hour, goes down to the time and everything. But it looks like we're already there. And if you're telling me, okay, you're saying November 1st, SNAP ends and EBT shuts off. What you're basically saying is that these people who are walking into these stores, they ain't going to have no way to get no food. That could get really ugly really quickly. That could get really, really ugly really quickly. So there's a couple of possibilities on this. It's possible that the Democrats are holding out because they actually want to see that happen. They actually want to get people angry enough to fight. That's a possibility. I think that's unwise, but that's a possibility. That is a possibility. The other possibility is that Trump could have planned this because it would cause civil uprising. It would cause civil unrest, and that would give him the power that he needs to either declare a martial law or to send troops into everywhere or whatever. I don't know if that, I think either way that's unwise. It's either him doing it or it's the Democrats doing it. Now, they can blame the Democrats, but the people are going to blame the Republicans. So this is, it's not a good idea. It's really not a good idea. But as far as stealing and shoplifting, you don't get seriously arrested for shoplifting unless what you're stealing surpasses a certain amount of money. So, I think it's a misdemeanor if it's not a felony. Like, if you don't steal a felony amount, it's a misdemeanor. So now you're going to have everybody stealing. you don't really want that. You really, really don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that because it gets really ugly. You'll have shopkeepers trying to fight people and shit. And you have people shooting the shopkeepers or punching the shopkeepers in the mouth. I'm here in New York City. I've got videos on my phone of storekeepers not far away, like stores that I pass every single day, where people have come in there shooting at the shopkeeper or killing the shopkeeper. I've got videos. I like every single one of these videos. It shows up on Instagram. We got channels like New York Scoop and all of these shootings and stuff that happen in these stores or outside these stores. We see all this stuff. And I've seen so much of this. It's like you really don't want things to get to that point because that would be really ugly, especially for these business owners. You don't want it to get to that point. But it looks like it's about to get to that point. So I don't know what to say, except the Desert Eagle going to stay cocked and it's going to stay ready. The Desert Eagle's there. When I say the early bird gets the worm, But nah, because the thing about it is if they'll steal from these stores, they'll carjack you, or they'll try to take something else like that. And there's the other shitty thing. The other shitty thing is that if people know that you've got, all of a sudden they show up at your door with that, they knock on your door. And then you open up your door, you're like, hey, what do you need? What do you want? Oh, I'm in a bind, Nate. It's like, oh my God. I got, I've had some ask me for stuff. I didn't want to give nothing. First of all, it's like, yo, listen, I'm just trying to go to work. I'm trying to come home, try to relax. I ain't trying to give you nothing. I don't even know who you are. I'm in a bind, Nate. That's what you get. You get the I'm in a bind, Nate. Could it get so bad? With this EBT thing? Could we really get to a point where these women are knocking on your door? I'm in a bind, Nate. Is that where we're going? I'm in a bind, Nate. Is that where we're going? Because the thing about it is, it's like, how Kevin Samuels said winter is coming? Yeah, winter's coming. Winter is coming. What is this? October 21st, right? Winter gets here December 23rd. And I don't know how long this is going to last. I really do not believe that this shutdown is going to last much longer than, say, maybe a week. I'd like to think it'll end quicker than that. But they could surprise me. They could make this shit last a month, for all I know. I don't know. But what I do know is you're going to get people come. I've had neighbors and shit. Because neighbors the problem with neighbors is they see what you got and they see how you live and everything. And then all of a sudden they come looking for stuff. Oh, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? Oh, can I borrow a pinch of sugar? Oh, can I use your washing machine or your dryer? Oh, yeah, I've had to deal with that shit. I get that knock on the door. I'm in a bind, Nate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I really don't want to have to deal with that. I really don't. I really, really don't. But, and not just neighbors, co-workers, friends. How about friends with government jobs? How about friends on these SNAP benefits? How about friends on EBT? I get that knock on your door. I'm in a bind, Nate. It's like, oh no. It's like, oh man, I just wanted to relax and go to sleep. That's all I wanted. I just don't know. But the bottom line is, you gotta say, well, what's the reason you make this video? I made this video because I want to remind you, yeah, there's a reason why Zoran Mamdani's winning. He's winning because regardless how you feel about him, he's calling attention to the people who are about to knock on your door and say, I'm in a bind, Nate. He's calling attention to this. He's blaming politics as usual. And that's the reason why these people are supporting him. Because if you look at the politicians you have right now, they've gotten us to this point right here. So I guess the people are looking at it and say, yeah, these people are failing us and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing to protect the least of us. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, yeah, I'm going to take a chance voting for this person that they claim that they hate. And that's what it really comes down to. If it's just like, I could keep on going, but I'm going to try to end. I said I'm not going to be too long, right? It's just like that Batman movie, The Dark Knight. And Alfred tells Bruce Wayne, he was like, yeah, you've pinched them to the point of desperation. And then they turned to a man that they fully didn't understand, or they didn't fully understand. It's like, I feel the same way with Donald Trump, because I feel that's exactly what happened. I feel that the people got so frustrated that they turned to a man that they didn't fully understand. I always knew Trump was a sociopath. I always knew it. Some people will, identify it and be like, yeah, you're probably right. He is a sociopath. No, the fucking guy's a sociopath for sure. A nihilist, a sociopath. It's like the mere fact that he's, this whole thing about no kings. And he tweets this video of him, the Top Gun pilot, dropping shit on everybody, right? Ironically, I think the ironic thing about this is that these people up here marching and they talk about no kings, but the presidency has more power than the king did. The presidency has more power than the entire royal family of UK Britain. The presidency has more power than any king in the world. You can't name a king that the presidency doesn't have more power than. You can't. So the presidency, whether it was Obama, Trump, Biden, they're beyond a king, And these people want, oh, no kings. Yeah, you ain't the king of me, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The presidency has more power than a king does. The presidency has way too much power, arguably. There's no king in the history of the world that ever nuked another fucking country. Twice. It never happened. There's no presidency in the entire world. There's no kingship in the entire world that has the power that the presidency of the United States of America has. And even if you're just there for a short time and it's not passed down to family, you're still more powerful than just about everybody else in the world. But for you to be tweeting these images and trolling people, like you're me, because that's what I do. I get these videos and I send them shits out to piss people off. It's like that's beneath The Office. It's like The Office is supposed to be held to a higher standard. But with him in there, nah, you can forget that. There ain't no standard no more. And the problem with him doing it is the next person's going to try to do the same shit or they're going to do worse. It's just like, I remember when Obama was in office, they were talking about, oh yeah, you can't use your BlackBerry because anything you text messages subpoenaable and all that. Now you got Trump in there who's literally doing insider trading in your face. And nobody's doing anything about it. How you going to be the president of the United States and you're tweeting video of an airplane shitting on the people? Not just the left, not just the libtards, the people, the voters. How you going to do that? That, to me, that's an impeachable offense. But our Congress isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So for the people who believe that the Congress is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, oh yeah, they're going to vote for Mom Donnie. They're going to find as many Mom Donnies as they can and vote for those Mom Donnies. Every last one of them. This is the other thing. I keep saying the same shit. Nobody believes me until they see it happen. The next president is going to end up being a Democrat. Not only that, the next president will probably end up being a woman, and it'll probably be a female Democrat. Won't be Kamala Harris. She can forget that because she's a failed politician. But it probably is going to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Trump is playing his hand very poorly with these people. I really, really believe that the next president is going to end up being a Democrat. It's probably going to be a woman, and most likely it's going to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It could possibly be Jasmine Crockett. I don't think it'll be Jasmine Crockett, but it could be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I noticed how quiet she is lately. It's almost like she's trying not to soil her name or soil herself or anything. It's a very good possibility. Now, we don't know who's running in 2028 yet, but I have a really good suspicion. See, everybody thinks it's going to be Gavin Newsom. Let me tell you something. If Gavin Newsom runs, and let's say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez decides, yeah, I can run too, you'll end up with the same exact situation that you see right now with Cuomo and Mamdani. You'll end up with the same shit. It'll be, oh, how could you vote for her? She never held a job. She was a waitress and all that bullshit. No, but see, what you don't understand is the presidency is just a figurehead, and the people vote for the presidency to represent them. And as long as you manage to get that majority. Now, here's a question. How do you think all these women are going to vote in 2028, given what Trump has done? Y'all can try to pretend that all these women are on Trump's side. They're not. And after this whole thing, SNAP and fucking welfare and all that shit, after all this, healthcare, after Trump, and it's funny, they didn't even talk that much about it. The Department of Education, Trump, what is he? They laid off with that woman who he's got, Mahan McMahon, or whatever the fuck her name is. They got rid of the special ed department. So here's a question. How do you think all these women with these autistic kids, Down syndrome kids, how do you think all of them are going to vote? I have an idea. I think they're going to vote to reinstall all the shit that Trump got rid of. That's how I think they're going to vote. In fact, I would argue that when there's a Democrat president, all they have to do is basically run an anti-Trump campaign agenda. And the reason why is because Trump ain't running again. He's going to be over 80. He's going to be like 82 or something. He's not running again. And if he can't run again based on the 25th Amendment, he can't run again. There's no other Republican who's going to be able to defend his position. He could defend his position with his mania, like standing there, oh yeah, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the ducks, they're eating the pets of the people who live there. Yeah, he could stand there with that bullshit and get away with it and have everybody laughing so much at this crazy shit that he's saying. But nobody else can do that. Like, there's people, oh yeah, J.D. Vance is going to be... J.D. Vance ain't winning no fucking president. What, are you kidding? J.D. Vance can't win no national election. Are you kidding? Yeah. Try it. It'll be just like Paul Ryan. How'd that work out? So, my thing is, yeah, Trump can't run no more. And maybe the Democrats are lucky because he can't run no more. Because even the most diehard Trump supporters, there's nothing they can do in 2028. They can't vote for him because he ain't going to be there. So the simple fact is, only by getting rid of him can they make it so that they have an election where he's not poisoning the election. Like, he can be in the background talking shit, but the thing about it is, once he's not president anymore, you watch what happens. When he's not president anymore, all these social medias, they're going to cut his ass right back off. Either he's going to say something or he's going to do something that's going to give them carte blanche. They're going to cut his ass right off. Look what they did last time. Second, he went up to the Capitol. And, oh, yeah, we're going to the Capitol. It's going to be wild. Facebook cut his ass off. Instagram cut him off. Twitter cut him off. The only person who might keep him on is Elon Musk. But then again, you don't even know anymore because he's falling out with Elon Musk. So you don't even know. How do you think these women are going to vote in 2028? I have an idea. I think they're going to vote for healthcare for their kids. I think they're going to vote for special education services for their kids. I think they're going to vote for women's rights to abortion and all that nonsense. Oh, no, we're voting for women's healthcare. Yeah, okay. But the thing about it is, given Trump kicking their ass this long and torturing them, I think that they're going to turn right around and say, you know what, we're going to vote the other way. That's what I think. Kamala Harris was a horrible candidate. Kamala Harris did not voice the Democrat platform very well. What Kamala Harris should have done was she should have gone rogue, just like Sarah Palin did. When Sarah Palin realized that McCain wasn't as crazy as she said, no, I'm going rogue. That's what Kamala Harris needed to do. Kamala Harris needed to go rogue, but she didn't do it. When they asked her, they said, oh, what would you do that's different from Biden? What did she say? Oh, nothing. Right. Oh, okay, really? And that was part of what cost her the election. She was seen as just more of the same. Let me tell you something. The next Democrat that runs, the Democrat corporate wing that's getting all that money from their lobbyists who keeping them in check, they're not going to be able to control the next person. Watch what happens. Because even right now, they're saying the same shit with Mamdani. Oh, yeah, well, the Democrats, they can't control them, and they're trying to get behind Cuomo, but they can't. They're trying because they know they can control Cuomo. They know that they can keep him in order. Mamdani, he's an unknown quantity. They don't know. Watch what happens. The next Democrat that runs, and it probably is going to be a loud, outspoken woman. You'll see. Watch. And because she's loud and outspoken and all that bullshit and independent woman, all that nonsense, you'll see. She probably won't even be married. She probably either won't be married or she'll have a weak husband or something like that. She might not have a husband at all. It'll be some loudmouth, independent woman who runs. You'll see. Watch. And you'll see all of a sudden public opinion shift on her side. That's what's so crazy about it. Kamala wasn't loud enough. Kamala wasn't crazy enough. The Kamala that needed to run is the one who sat there and said, these motherfuckers are crazy.
Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their minds. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.
But that's not what we got. So the bottom line is, you'll see the next person, and Gavin Newsom to me is a joke. But the thing about it is, he'll run. Yeah, he'll probably try to run. But he's going to get outshined by somebody. Maybe we know who it is. Maybe we don't. It might be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It might be Jasmine Crockett. Who knows? But the thing about it is, whether you love him or hate him, because I think it's fair to say, whoever runs, half the country is not going to like him. The other half is going to like him. Half the country is not going to like him. You'll see. I don't know who it's going to be. It might be somebody who they invent in a lab somewhere. I don't know. But you'll see. They're going to pop out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, they're going to be the next Mamdani. You'll see. It's coming. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but it's coming. And it's obvious what's happening right now. But you'll see. So as far as the SNAP benefit nonsense, these people threatening that they're going to start stealing and shit, start shoplifting. I don't know. I just don't know. But all I can say is if you're a shopkeeper, it's a tough choice. Is it going to be like Les Miserables and you're going to have a shotgun and stuff just to protect your bread? From John St. John or John Paul John or whatever the hell his name was. And you're going to have cops like Javert who are going to have to chase everybody down and shit and beat you up outside and everything because you try to steal televisions. I don't know. I really don't know. But the bottom line is it's going to get ugly. That's all I can say is it's going to get ugly, folks. It's going to get ugly. I could just see that. It's going to get ugly. So, yeah, that's the story. That's the story. Where's that? Somebody's knocking at the door. I'm in a bind.
Oh, I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. But I mean, Tony Newsom got to give me a reason to do that. You know what I mean?
And what would that be?
Oh, come on now, you know.
The line first, so you squeezed them, you hammered them to the point of desperation. And in that desperation, they turned to a man they didn't fully understand.
Criminals aren't complicated, Alfred. We just need to figure out what he's after.
With respect, Master Wayne, perhaps this is a man you don't fully understand either.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
To be continued.